Hey guys, what's up? I'm Scott Middleton. I play in Cancer Bats. So we just dropped an album called The Spark That Moves. It's our 6th studio album. We kind of did a surprise thing. Like right now we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of our second album, Hill Destroyer, and which has been really cool and everyone's been really excited. And while the focus has been kind of on that, we've been secretly making a new record, and we just dropped that the day of our first show for the 10th anniversary, just as kind of like to give back to like all our fans that have supported us through all the years. You know, it's like, hey, this is for you guys. This wasn't about hype. It's just like we worked really hard on these songs, and you know, we hope everyone enjoys it just as much as all our past stuff. And the reception's been amazing, and all the reviews that are coming in, it's been like way better than what we could ever hope for. And so it's really exciting to, you know, kind of celebrate like the old Cancer Bats and usher in the new era of the band. So it's pretty exciting, yeah. I think our band, like when we first started out, was a bit more simplistic in terms of arrangements and ideas. I think, you know, things are a little bit faster, a little bit gnarlier and dirtier. We're like pushing different styles of the band in ways, so it's like trying just to be creative, and it's like, how do you make a heavy album interesting for 2018, you know, because so much of it's all been done before, and it's like, yeah, we're always going to have classic elements of rock and metal and punk in our band, but you know, we're also trying to think forward and seeing where we can push boundaries too. The Bax Bangeetar is a pedal that I got a couple months before we actually went in to record, and I mean, that pedal blew me away the second I tried it. I was just like, I threw it in front of my little crappy practice amp that I've had since I was like 15, just terrible thing, but it's just something that I kind of used to write riffs on at home. And I plugged it in, and just, it sounded like a monster stack. It was crazy. And just the flexibility of the EQ, the Baxpan EQ, it has just a crazy amount of range, and it's all about sounding good. And because there's a kind of like a parametric mid-range band, I'm able to like take out any nasty frequencies that a certain guitar or pickup might push through too much, and I can take that out, or I can add stuff that's missing. And then the other thing that I really noticed is that the pots on it are like the highest quality studio gear. It's like, it's all detented, and so it's easily recallable. If you have a setting, you just take a photo or write it down, and it's really easy to like go back to that and find that place again. And that was like really key. And you know, as I experimented and wrote a bunch of song ideas with that pedal, I had to bring it with me to make the new album, because you know, the orange sound has been kind of becoming an important part of Cancer Bats in the kind of new direction that we've been going in. I brought that pedal with me, and I was able to just plug into an effects return of a loud amp, and there was the sound. And it's like, when we track the guitars, we do, you know, a pass of left and right, you know, and we stereo pan them, and entirely one side is the Bax Bangeetar, and it into an amp and just cranked up, and it sounded amazing. It was just right away like, holy shit, this is what we've been looking for. The other thing that I've been doing lately, I don't know if everybody knows about it, but I've been producing a lot of records. And at my studio at home, what I found was super great with that pedal is that I can use it as a way to have guitarists track live in a room with a drummer. So when we're tracking drums, I don't have to have an amp cranked up that's bleeding into the drum microphones. It's got a cab simulated out, and it sounds really awesome, and it gives the guitarist a really accurate tone that's comfortable and inspiring to play alongside. And that's always one of the like drawbacks, is like making a guy play into headphones. How can you give him enough gain and enough actual fat tone that he is excited to play, so that when he plays alongside a drummer, he's giving it his all, and that then in turn inspires the drummer to like hit even harder, and so that's been like kind of an indispensable studio tool. I also recently had a band come in, and he had I think the OR 120, and you know, it was crazy how close I was able to dial in the Bax Bangeetar pedal to sound like a real Orange amp, and that's the real difference. There's so many distortion pedals out there, you know, we've all used them and tried them, but this thing feels and responds like an actual amp, and I think that's why it's kind of such a step above. I guess it's, you know, really a preamp pedal. It's just inspiring to play, so when I'm trying to like convince other guitar players to try something, they're like, you want me to use a plug into a pedal? Like, really? Like, I don't know, shouldn't I be doing an amp or something? And I plug it in, and they're like, oh, no, that sounds right, it feels good. And that's what I think a lot of other you know, high gain distortion pedals are missing, especially. And for me, it's been kind of this you know, revolutionary like tool for studio work, really. Like, I can plug in and go direct, that's one thing, but I can plug it into any other amplifier and get that Orange sound that I'm looking for, which is really cool. Like, if you think about it in the Bax Bangeetar in terms of like a traditional preamp, what I would normally do is run any other pedal I'm using before it. So like, I put my wahs, any compression or a boost or a fuzz, I would run that into the Bax Bangeetar, and then I would run any modulation or delay effects post that pedal. So it all kind of ties in, and again, because it has such an amp-like feel, I don't have to really think about it too much. It kind of just complements it really well. I mean, that pedal itself is a gain machine. It's not meant for clean tones, really. Like, that is, you know, you're either putting it into a clean amp or in the effects return and turning it into like a monster sound, and that's what I love about it, and that's always what I'm looking for. Especially, you know, there's so many amps out there that have a million different knobs and, you know, 6 different channels, and everybody's trying to add all these extra features in this, and this is just everything you need. It is the high gain channel that you want, and that's the difference for me. It's just the simplicity with the pots the way they are. I can recall it in a live setting, and I can adjust. It's so flexible in terms of its EQ. It can work with so many different amps and so many different guitars and pedals that's why it's kind of become this secret weapon for me.